Hey guys, and welcome back to another NRL Fantasy Fanatics podcast. Today it's just me, just with Fanshul just having a couple things on this week, so it'll just be me this week. So pretty pumped. Yeah, we'll start off with the first game, Um, Dolphins and Manly. Just internet issues here, but it was very good game with Dolphins coming on top. We saw the likes of Luke Brooks have an awesome one and Trey Fuller with that amazing try. But if we have a look here, Luke Brooks was awesome. He's at 441k. You could be looking him up, especially with Nico Hines maybe playing Origin. Cleary down. If you're looking at half and a cheap half, Luke Brooks is the man. He'll have a low break even this week with 65 and could be a risky option. You see that only the one try assist to get him to that 65 points. It was just a really great game from him. He was kicking, really took over from Daly. And it was good to see Luke Brooks in fine form. But we see Ewan Aiken. Wow, he was good at 716k now. He's made over 167k. That edge position, 61 points. That try at the start of the game was that intercept was awesome for owners of Ewan Aiken. You'd be loving life. But just with Lemuelu, we see what happens to his edge position if he goes back to center. But I think at the moment he will stay at edge. So yeah, definitely a hold if you have him. Maybe not a pick up with that 716k price tag. So we look at Trey Fuller. Wow, he's the man of the moment right now. 190k price gained. I think they get Hammer back this week, but I believe he will play Origin. But it was a really good game from 61 with an awesome try, a try saver, and a line break. It was awesome. 61 at that really value price now. I don't think he's a pickup just with Hammer coming back. But I do think he's a hold if you have him due to coming into Origin. So I don't think he's a sell this week. As I still think he's got some price to make. But Corey Waddell, 51 points. Take that from him. A try and a try saver, 80 minutes. You happy with that? We see Burbo back. We'll just see what happens with his minutes and see what happens to Waddell. But he's definitely a keep in my opinion. With he's just starting to gain a bit of cash as he's been losing some lately. But Daly Cherry Evans, he's plummeting in cash now. Lost 138. It's just 49. Take that with base. So if we can after Origin period, Daly Cherry Evans could be starting to have a look when Moses is in fine form and Dylan Brown starts to become a sell. Cherry Evans could be with the loss of money throughout the Origin period. Cherry Evans could look like a pickup. So we'll just wait and see. But a solid game from him, all base there, no attacking stats really for Cherry. So except for that one line break assist. But yeah, we see cool, not really fantasy relevant, but a good game from him. Really, just that one try, boost his score up to 48. We go down. Herbie, we see him back from injury with a great 47. We know his running meter prowess and tackle busting form was that he has been in at the Broncos with a six tackle bust. He's trying to get back into that form, and we see there just with the try assist and line break assist, like from Herbie, starting to see his old self there when he was at the Broncos, just really relying on that base. Yeah, really solid game from him. I don't think he's a pickup. He's just a wait and see again and hold on him. The effort man, Mark Nichols, 47. It's really good from him. Just a 43 minutes play. It's definitely not a look at pickup just with that try, but really good game. Tommy Talau, he puts up winger stats, so I wouldn't be looking at him, but a solid game from him with 47. Fanger's man, Will's man, co-host, 46 points, checked for voyage. He was loving him. Just sort of come back to earth with that consistent 48, even with a try assist. So hold on him. Connolly Lambuelu, he was awesome, 45 with the tries. It was 70 minutes, so played a long while. We'll see what happens with him minutes wise, and if he still holds that edge, and see where Ewan Aiken goes, but yeah, solid game from him. Move down. The injured Tommy Turbo. We've seen him out for 7 weeks, meaning he is definitely a sell in my opinion. But if you had him, he had all the attacking stats, and still only with the 44. But again, not playing that 12 minutes to see what he could have done. But yeah, just spewing if you're a Tommy Turbo. Jerry Marshall King's looking like a pickup, definitely a holds and wait. We know the 42 with 42 tackles. Definitely he's there for a try assist one or time at here or there. Just at his price tag, I don't think he is a buy at the moment, but look out for him. We see Jed Bostock here. If you do have him, I think he's time for a sell and free up some cash somewhere else. As he isn't doing much anymore, as he needs those tries and try assists to really boost his stats and line breaks. So yeah, we further down, not really too much to look at here. Maxi Plath comes back to earth with the reduced minutes of 38 minutes. That's just with Lemuelu coming back and then just opening up. And we see also Felice Kafusi coming back. We also see Max Plus just minutes reducing now, and I do believe he does come a sell and time to free up some cash to upgrade to a big gun. Two guys here, Jermaine Osako was looking like a pickup, 80 minutes with just 26, just not hit his night without any tries, just didn't get involved. But when he is involved, he can score those high 70s, and I still believe he is a chance of a pickup if you want a riskier guy, because we know he can score those three tries and go absolutely ballistic with a 70 or two tries and still score 70, so he could be a riskier pickup. Ruben Garrick still makes you money here with 26. You're happy with it. He got moved to the wing. There's nothing much you can more do about it. But the guy underneath him, Burbo, definitely a hold if you have him. Just really cheap now at 364k. Trying to get you a bit more money. Really disappointed. I was at 26, I think, after the 30th minute. Just really struggled in that second half. Didn't get much involvement on his edge. So yeah, not much you can really do about Burbo there. I think he's just a wait and see, and then Saab getting injured, which isn't good for Manly supporters. The next game, Panthers at Bulldogs, good game. Bulldogs stuck in there to the end. We see a guy like Luke Garner. Wow, he was awesome with 81 points. It's at a point we've said he's become a pickup, but he's at 562k. Do you take the risk with Luke Garner? He's definitely a pod option at the 1.3% own, so he could be looking like an option. But awesome with that one try and line break with so many tackles as well. He's carving up on the edge. It just depends what happens with Scotty Sorensen. But yo, consistent man, always good. Good to see with that line break just to boost his score a bit. But Dylan Edwards, it's good to see a lot of base here from Dill Bags, especially with those 10 tackle busts. He's definitely not a pickup. He's at 801k now. He's definitely not a pickup, but he's definitely a hold. I'd wait till Origin and maybe he becomes a sell in my opinion, just because of that price tag and how much money he can lose. But if you're finding that wing fullbacks and want to upgrade somewhere else, when Origin comes around, in my opinion, Dylan Edwards may be a sell depending on the injuries that your team's suffering from. Kiraz, awesome for Kiraz owners when they picked him up cheap. 3 line breaks, 1 try, 57 points. He's definitely a hold. He's going to make some more cash, and yeah, pretty happy with Kiraz. Matt Burton was good. He could be up for Origin, which makes it a risky buy, especially at 699k. Rather go someone like the more expensive Dylan Brown. So you read Marnie 53. He's been awesome this year. 64 tackles with 6 missed tackles. Like that's fine. You take that from Marnie. If you do want to hook it and have the money to spend it, I'd go for Marnie or maybe Marnie, or you could go down to Jaden Brayley or someone like Reece Robson. We don't know what happens with Reece Robson and Origin, but yeah, Max King consistent as always, 52 points on 52 minutes, PPM beast. Fisher Harris awesome with 50. He could become a pickup. He's very consistent. Fisher Harris, he plays his limited 50 minutes, which limits his points between 40 to 50, but may get a try in there. So if you're looking for a pod option and a consistent man on your bench, Fisher Harris may be the go here. Luai definitely not fantasy relevant, and also Paul Alamotti underneath him. It's just with Taylor May and that if he can hold that position, which I don't think he can. Oh no, sorry, he's with the injured Tungo. So Paul Alamondi's definitely not a pickup in my opinion. But Nathan Cleary, you see here down in the 39th minute, out of Origin. He's definitely a sell. It's unlucky for fantasy owners who did pick him up. Not much you can really do about them. Best wishes to Nathan Cleary. And it's the support stuff there. Crichton, he's losing cash by the minute, 206k. It's at one point, when do you think he's a pickup? We see here pretty much all base and 39. So it's at a point when Stephen Crichton is starting to probably gain money and a time to pick him up. Joshua Kadikar, definitely not there in the fantasy realm. We see Lindsay Smith there, 33. Mitch Kenny, still not buy, sell if you have him. Josh Curran, I believe he is a sell. I think he's capped at his price and starts plummeting in cash. Hutcho, if you haven't sold him, please sell him. Sell. Interesting with Sam Hughes and what we do with Sam Hughes and Jamin Salmon. I do think they may be a hold during Origin period. They don't lose. Nah, well, it just depends. We see what they do with teamless, but one could be a sell to a cheaper guy like the man here, J. Cole, young Jack Cole, 3.9%, so people have already picked them up. 41 minutes, 26 points, really good from him, all base. He could be a cheap replacement for Cleary over those 7 weeks. I think they do have a couple buys in there. So I reckon he could be a cheap Jack Cogger option like we saw last year, and I'm really going to jump on board J. Cole this week. Jack Cole, he's an absolute, like, you just get a glimpse there, 26 from 41 minutes. Definitely could be an option when Schneider has gone down with that MCL injury, which is 4 to 6 weeks. So he could be a Cogger situation, and hopefully goes well in that position to hold it for that full 7 weeks Cleary's out for. We see Taylor May. I see still a hold in my opinion at that price tag of 504k. Even if you loop him on the on the emergencies, yeah. We see nothing much too more down here. We see Jacob Preston back and see what happens. He may plummet in cash due off coming off the bench, and when he gets a starting position back, he could be a pickup, maybe. This game, it was awesome for Dylan Brown. As an owner myself, he was awesome. Just with that one try, but really just stats all over the place. 3 offloads, which was awesome to boost his score. We see Payne Haas back to fine form. Definitely not a pickup right now due to Origin coming into Origin, but just a wait and see on him and how he goes. But a guy, Bailey Simonson, he's at that cheap price. You could be looking at a pickup as we saw um, averaging last three, like 49 with a try, but 60 with just the try assist, but 11 tackle bus. He's running the ball, Bailey Simonson, and we could see him maybe as a pickup option. It depends when Moses come back because we do get to see Penasini really take control with Moses there. Moses really unlocks Penasini there, so it'll be interesting. Jermaine Hopgood, he's a hold if you have him. Definitely not a buy in my opinion. Just very expensive for a guy right now. I think he's still got maybe a little bit more cash to lose. But yeah, he's just always consistent. Blaze Talangu is awesome. I do think he's a pickup if you're looking for a center position. He's got limited more time with Gutho out. But that try and 3 line breaks, he was awesome. 57 points. Definitely a pickup will make you some cash. Dean Mariner was good. 2 try assists. Definitely not a pickup, but a hold if you have him. Reece Walsh, 48 with a try and a lot of attacking stats there. Definitely a hold if you have him at 646k. I'd rather go Teddy over Reece Walsh, but Teddy has that risk with Origin. Ezra Mam, awesome with 48. His price is going up now, but definitely think he's very inconsistent fantasy guy. Some games he could go 11, some games he could go 50. He just relies on those attacking stats. A guy underneath him, Ryan Madison, he was pretty good for owners. Just average, wouldn't say average, but thereabouts what you expect from it, that price. I reckon he could be definitely a pickup this week, in my opinion. Paddy Carrigan, 43, four missed tackles, 2 penalties. Yeah, not the best from Carrigan. We see Haas come back and take over, but we still see there's glimpses of those 40 tackles, and definitely think he's is a hold, in my opinion. Go down Penasini. I do think he can be a pickup when Moses come back. We see him run for 188 meters, which is awesome from him. Look down more. Joey Lussick's definitely a sell if you still have him. Definitely not a hold. He's going to decrease in crash or stay there, rather decrease to a cash gal and put the money in somewhere else. Move further down. Ethan Sanders, 33, definitely not a pickup. Keep going down. Xavier Willison, definitely a hold or maybe a sell. Just depends how many minutes he goes next week. And then Piakora, it's an interesting one, what you do with him. But in my opinion, I believe he's definitely a hold. Just a guy at that caliber, at that price, we definitely know he can go big, and we're just waiting for it. So I reckon just buy your time on Piakora. The next game we see Tigers Knights. We see Bradman Best 99, absolutely electric. Puts his hands right up for that Origin jersey like he did so well last year. But a guy we see here, Isaiah Papali'i, 2 tries, back to his like getting glimpses of it back to his Eels form. But with 2 tries and 2 line breaks, it really boosts that score with a couple of negatives as well and 8 tackle busts. So we're seeing him getting back to his tackle bust form, but yeah, could be very interesting what happens to him. You could get either way with John Bateman going down. We see the replacement half come in for the Tigers. He did pretty well. Definitely not a pickup, just with that just with um forgot his name, but he's coming back from suspension. Uh, Adam Caesar's coming back from suspension, so yeah, definitely think he'll lose his spot. But it was pretty really good effort. A guy under him for Sells back, happy with the 50, but we see a guy like Greg Marzou back at 49. Is it time we start looking at Greg Marzou? Is he getting glimpses of his try-scoring best? We know he's a running machine. Like, look at that, 200 meters game and 7 tackle bus. Um, just with a couple offloads can definitely boost that score. So I think Greg Marzou's starting to look like a pickup. Jay and Bradley definitely a hold, even a pickup if you are looking for a hooker during that buy round. Our man, Dane Gagai, 42, consistent, not much, not much attacking with that try assist, couple negatives. You just take that from Gagai. Armstrong, he was awesome, 42, but with so many attacking stats, he's at that price now where I don't see him as a pickup. I'd rather go KO Weeks just with that kicking position and what he can do there. Galvin, hold, um, with that 41, you take that. It's just all base and wait till he gets those attacking stats. Really boost his score to 60. So excited to see what happens with him the next couple of weeks and maybe a season-long keeper. Jackson Hastings comes down to earth a bit, 39 points, but still 39 in base. Like, yeah, here or there with Hastings. Definitely not a pickup, but a hold if you have him. We see Dylan Lucas come back. We see him with that 1.1 ownership. I don't think many of you guys have him, but I believe he is a sell with that 36. He really struggled that game. I think Kai Pierce-Paul will take his position, especially what the Knights coaching staff has done with the halfback roles, that they know they can do a bit of chopping and changing. We see Api Coruscant now 32. He's definitely gone back to earth. A lot of negatives there, and I believe he will be up for New South Wales selection. So I believe he is a sell in my opinion, but he is priced at that very low. But you could definitely, definitely sell, in my opinion. Dream Buller 32, waiting to see when he goes electric and goes big like he did last year. Carpius Paul, he didn't get a starting role. I believe he will, hopefully this next week. He lost a bit of cash. Hopefully next week he can get that position back. We'll just see, this week, sorry. We'll just see what happens with Teamless. We moving on down. Nothing too much to look at. Samuel Fainu, 80 minutes, very disappointing. Just not much involvement there. On the edge, Johnny Bateman goes down, which is very disappointing for owners. Like Will brought him in this week, so very disappointing if you're a John Bateman owner. And he just in that first, like, it's just unfortunate. Just not much to really say. But Fanchil's man pot of the year, apparently our pot of the year, Fanchil's pot of the year. Jaden Sewer, 66 points with a try. He was awesome. Even a lot of missed tackles. I do think he will go into Origin camp, which may be an issue. So definitely not a pickup in my opinion, but definitely a hold. As there's so many like valued price edges we've found now that are pretty expensive. But Hunt, he's been looking awesome. He could be a pod, a sneaky little pod. We see him at probably 5% own, 3% owned. So not at high ownership. We've got him at 50 at our 50 points average, and like a lot of base there as well, a lot of kick meters. So he could be looking like a sneaky pod. Benny Hunt, Damien Cook, we see 57. He could be looking like a pickup. He'll start to rise in cash again if he holds his 57s and big performances like he has. But yeah, I still think Damien Cook could be looking like a sneaky pickup. Just with Origin, I was just having a look, having a think if he may get Origin. But I think rather Reece Robson, that guy. So he could be looking like a replacement hooker. I don't know if he does play round 13, but yeah. Jack DeBellin, I think he's definitely a sell if you have him. Just a 54 with a try. Definitely better mid options you can go with than Jack DeBellin. Latrell Mitchell, he had an attacking game. Uh, a lot of attacking stats over the ball with 2 tries and only 52 points. Like, it's here or there with Trell. I definitely won't be picking up. Won't pick. Definitely don't pick him up as he's losing a bit of cash and could be looking a buy over the Origin period. But a couple errors in that game just really affected him. We see Lomax. He's definitely a hold. Definitely not a pick up with that price. But the guy we've been talking about, Fanshawe and Will and I, is Jacob Little. 49 points from 80 minutes. We know he can dart out a dummy half and really get those catch the defense off the back foot. So he could be looking like a sneaky buy, Jacob Little, especially at 567k. I reckon he'll start to make some cash and start averaging those 50s. We know he's a defensive guy and also loves to run. So I will watch him for one more week and see if we bring him in during the buy period, as he could look like an option. Jack Bird at that slow price, 394k. I don't think he's a pickup as just a try boost you score there in a line break. Do we see that every week from Jack DeBellin? And not too much base there, so here or there. We also see Carl Flanagan here, 44. He's definitely a sell on everyone's team and definitely not a pickup. That's probably enough said about him. We talked about Sele starting to rise in price at that 42 points from 48 minutes. Definitely not a pickup in my opinion. I don't think he'll be getting 42 points every week and hold that PPM score. Like, he was very good this week, didn't miss too many tackles. But yeah. Uh, Keon Kalumatatangi, 40 points from 80. Yeah, no attacking stats there, but I don't think he's a pickup yet. He's just to wait and see. Yeah, not really much said about him. Terrell Sloan, definitely a hold if you have him. He's just starting to put up just less attacking stats week in, but he can get involved and go for those 60s, so I definitely think he's a hold in your side. Oh, we said Jai Arrow might be a sneaky buy, but I think still wait another a week on him. He hasn't showed me enough from that game that he has that high 40s, high 50s scoring ability and maybe to go big. So just wait and see next week. Is he's not going to gain too much cash next week unless he goes ballistic with a 60 set or 70. Looking down, Walker's starting to gain some cash. He's at 494k. Could be looking like an option, but I don't know if they'll go like a guy for him for Origin. So he could maybe look like an option on your bench to make you some money for just to cover half in case injuries and through that buy periods, as he's a very cheap price. But you could see Jack Cole coming through there. Good to see Sully back after the head knock. Anzac round. Eisenhuth comes back to earth. Definitely not a pickup anymore. If you have him, I reckon he's a hold. Just hold one more week, and if he puts up another 30 and limited minutes, he's definitely a sell. Look down here. Not too much here. Jack Wyden at that 427k. He might become a pickup if he starts getting to some cracking form. Has been talked up to Origin conversations, so maybe. You see the next game, Storm and Sharks. This is a cracker of a game. We see Tyrone Richards go big with 65. He's not a pickup, in my opinion, just due to Hughes coming back soon, and it's another 2 weeks, and plus they've got that bye there, so definitely not a pick. And same as Eli Katoa. There's other valued edges right now, and I think he'll have a couple 30s in there that allude to some cash, but I think he'll hold that 600, 700k. It's just I don't think he'll be a consistent guy every week. Like we know how much he loves going over a try, but will he go over a try every week and boost that score to 60? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, just next week I'll just be looking. If I want to pick him up, I'll just be looking for a more base out of him, really. But yeah, Atkins was awesome. He really stepped up for the injured Nico Hines. Definitely not a pickup as Hines comes into that position, but he was awesome. Yeah, it's just really just guided his team around. He didn't really look like a rookie out there. He looked like a he looked like a Cooper Cronk out there. To be brutally honest, it might be a high standard I'm putting him to, but he was awesome out there. Really just put the Melbourne Storm to the sword, and just his effort plays were awesome. We've been hyped about Oregon Kafusi. Let's just have a quick look at him. Averaging 40 now. Let's have a look at his last three. Last three average at 53. We see a 59, 53, and 60 just with those tries there. But 59, he's getting those minutes. If he can hold those 60 minutes, he's definitely a PPM player. We know how much he loves running the ball hard, so he could be looking up a pickup in your side. He's priced at 555k, so a bit undervalued there. So watch out for him. Um, Niokora still could be a pickup in my opinion. I'd rather a guy like Niokora, Brenton Niokora over Eli Katoa, just with that stronger base, as you see there, 44 tackles and loves getting involved through the middle as well as an edge. Also, Cam McInnes playing well, 58 points. We see him back to fine form. He could also be look like a pod, but just with that 718k price tag, definitely better options below that, like Oregon Kafusi, in my opinion. Munster doing well, definitely not a pickup with Origin coming around, but a hold in your side. Jesse Raymond's really skyrocketing in price, but we know that if he's not involved in the game, we can see low scores from him. So definitely not a buy, but a hold in your side. Teague Wilton staying consistent as ever with 45. Sean Ball 45. Hold if you have him. Definitely not a pickup just yet. Tommy Hazelton, not an anytime try scorer this week, but yeah, good from him. Definitely not a fantasy pickup. We moved down Harry Grant with that sin bin. Really annoying just for Harry Grant owners. His price is he's lost 77k. We're just waiting for those big scores, and Origin comes around, and it's really just annoying Harry Grant owners. But he is that season long keeper, so I'm gonna keep my trust in him, and I believe he still is a hold. So we keep moving down. Aero, bit disappointing. He just not as strong base as he has done the last couple of weeks. Just three tackle boss. Usually we see a bit more from him there with an offload or so, but still running for a nice amount of meters. Four missed tackles. You still take that. He's a hole in your side, and there's still money to gain there. Nick Meaney's still doing my head in here. I've been watching him lately, and he's still just looming around that 500k price tag, which is undervalued for him. But he hasn't shown me anything to make me want to buy him with any consistent scores here. So see Blake Brayley, sorry, with a disappointing 26. But I was looking at him as a cheeky pod and still am. There's still one more round before I start bringing my hooker for Harry Grant. It just didn't really get involved in defense there with that 80 minutes. You usually see a try assist out of him, but we know he can put up those 40s. 45, 50, 55, 60s there, like some consistent scores from Blake Brayley. But it just depends if you which way you want to go. Do you want to go to a guy like Blake Brayley or Jacob Little? So yeah, because we got to make way for Grant somehow if you're a Grant owner, or you're looking to get rid of Appy Coruscant and just go to a 500k guy like Jacob Little. Moving down. Fulongo was good. I didn't pick him up personally, but I know a lot of people did. I think he's another one of those guys who puts up winger stats as a fullback. But when he does get involved, he can get those 60s. And when he gets involved, he goes on a run. We know he can score a try. When he scores a try or gets involved with a try assist, you'll then see a line break or just a brilliant excellence. He thrives us confidence, this young fella. So he's definitely a hold if you have him. Maybe not a buy this week. Yeah, that's about it for that game. It was a great game to watch. We go to the first of the Sunday games, Roosters and Warriors. Dom Young, I was thinking of picking him up a sneaky pod. I was so close to doing it. Just as a winger, he's got that risk to it, and I didn't take the risk, and I'm annoyed I didn't. 5 line breaks, 2 tries, 9 tackle balls. But we can see this happening most weeks in a row from Dong Young, as they love scoring on that right edge with Joey Manu. So they've got a great combination there, and he's got some price to gain, like 51k. I was looking at it as an option, but really just kicked in my backside there. He ran well. He's really getting his hands on the ball now. And we know even though when he doesn't score a try, he can get those 30s just off those meters gains. They're like 25 points off meters gains is awesome from him. 84 is ridiculous for Dom Young, and I'm annoyed. Oh, we see 96k now risen. Angus Crichton. When's he gonna get into the two? When's he gonna break the 2 million price barrier? Angus Crichton. 78 points, scored 2 tries there. Even though that boosted his score up a lot and 9 tackle busts, he's just gone back to old Angus Crichton like we have. We said I would love to see good old Angus Crichton back, and he's been awesome for fantasy owners. What's his ownership's still only at 28.5%, and if you're that 70%, you're just kicking yourself in the backside, really. So see what happens if he does get up for Origin conversation. But Sudu Fanua Blake here, 62 points, really good from him. That try. When does he become a pickup? We see tackle bus form 9 tackle bus there with 18 points. Like when he doesn't score a try, that may be the issue with limited points of 10. But teams need to watch out for him. Like he's just so consistent scoring tries. You think he's a winger these days, but yeah, he could start to look like a pickup for Noah Blake. Keep him on your radar. We see James Tedesco, 60 points. It was a great pickup this week from myself. Wish I got him last week, but he's starting to gain some money. I don't think about Origin, just how consistent Dylan Edwards has been this year. But he is putting himself in that conversation. He really ran the ball nicely off um off the back of kicks, just allowing him to really those push up those meters gain to 170. We see a lot of like an average of 150 meters run for Teddy, and really 9 tackle bust. He looked back to his old, I'd say 2017 Origin form. Yeah, he does look good. He looks better than last year, James Tedesco. Connor Watson, just 740k. Like that's 190k is ridiculous. Uh, from Connor Watson, so he could be looking like a sell just with limited minutes because we did see Spencer Linu come back. Just depends what happens with him. But he's definitely a hold if you have him, and maybe a sell just depending on teamless and the minutes he gets and where they can slide him in for as many minutes as possible because we know he will score well. We see Nat Butcher there, 55 points. It's just consistent as always. 711k. There's definitely better ways to go than Nat Butcher with Brenton Nakor or maybe Papa Lee. Sam Walker, 54. Yeah, a lot of the attacking stats there. He's lost a lot of money. Could be looking like a sneaky, risky pickup, but a lot of attacking stats. And we know that Keary can sometimes take over that role, but it was Walker. So Walker may be an inconsistent guy. I wouldn't be looking to pick him up. But Chance, 48. If you have him, you're pretty happy. Like it would have been annoying for halves and wing fullbacks for the Warriors because they really just couldn't find ways to get into the game after. Like they would struggle after the Roosters putting 22 points on them early, so it was hard for Klukstad to come back. But we see him run, get 8 tackle boss, so he's in his best running form, and also just sneak over for sneaky tries he loves doing close to the line. Move down, Jackson Ford, definitely not a buy. Brenton Nakora, a better option, in my opinion. It's time to lose some money. I believe it's now time to sell Terrell May, which I did last week. Even though he gained some cash, I believe his just minutes are just going to hold at those 30, and I don't think he'll go for a PPM every week and get 3 offloads maybe every week. He can prove me wrong. See what he says on Joey Manu's vlog if you're listening, Terrell May. So definitely a sell. Joey Manu, I think it's time. He's a hold, but definitely not a pickup at that 764k, 40 points. Like, but a couple attacking stats there to boost that with a try assist and a line break and 3 line break 6 to put Young over. So a hold, definitely not a buy. Torhu's gone back to earth. Like, thank God I reversed that trade 2 weeks ago because Torhu's gone from 40 to 38. But we see that. But there's times where he can consistently bounce back. Yeah, it was just struggle street for some fantasy players. In the Warriors jersey, just with the Roosters pretty much ending the game in the first 18 minutes, putting on 22 points. Move down, not much more to look at. Here, Kiri definitely. If you have him, he's a hold. Linu comes back. I don't think he's a pickup just yet. Give him 1 more week, see what happens with minutes. Arbor and Wade Egan didn't get that starting position, and definitely just due to that just attacking running game that was played at Acor Stadium, just waiting and struggled there really. Just not even getting that starting over Freddie Lussick. So see what happens there if he gets that starting and 80-minute roll back. Move down Johnson there, really struggled with 25 points. Yeah, just struggle shit. I think it was a pec injury that was caused from the chicken wing tackle. I don't know who it was, but it was chicken wing. Oh, I think it was Luke Keary. Yeah, he just struggled with 25 points, but it was just hard for Warriors players out there. Just getting 22 points score on there early, pretty much game's over. Move down, not much more to look at there. This game, very interesting. How many tries the Cowboys bombed? Oh my god! But we see Fafita rising in price even more, 74 points with a try. He looks in good form, especially after he just looks like he's got that confidence. There's so much just talk about him, and he's really just showing the talk up, really. David Fafita's been awesome this year, and I'm keen for Origin, but the 901k price tag, I don't think he's a pickup at the moment. Maybe after the Origin period, coming into the end of the season, but he could definitely, a guy at the end of the season, be a pickup if you want to win your head-to-heads there. Yeah, we know it can be consistent with the 70s, 80s, and 90s been putting on the last couple of weeks. But a guy like Ben Firma, he used to be an absolute weapon, fantasy weapon, until he did his ACL, I believe. And now he struggled, but he's starting to get that tackle bust. 2 turnovers there, boosted his score to 63 in that line break. Yeah, he was awesome. He could be looking as a sneaky option. As an edge, like 600k, that's pretty underpriced for him, as he can score 60s pretty consistent. So I definitely think he's a wait and see for him. Brimson, I don't know what the injury is, but as I didn't watch the game, just saw the highlights and I haven't heard much about the injury of AJ Brimson, but he was awesome. Try saver. I don't think he's a pickup with that 631k, and he can be pretty inconsistent, especially while he's back at that half roll. As we saw, he was struggling to score early on in the season at that half roll. See a guy like Cleese Haas, if he can hold these minutes, he could be an absolute snag there at 495k. 58 points, 80 minutes, all base there. Well, that's pretty much all you're going to get from him. Like, really, just 43 tackles. He was awesome. We'll see if he can hold that 80-minute roll. But definitely looking like a pickup, Cleese Haas. Ruben Cotter, 57 points from 68 minutes. He's been awesome this year. I'm really disappointed that I sold him because he went on to score a 40, and then I thought I was right, and then he went and scored on an 80 and nearly scored there, which would have boosted score and lost me my head-to-head. But yeah, awesome. He's definitely whole. Wouldn't think he is a pickup in my opinion, as there's better guys. Probably could upgrade to Payne Haas there. After the Origin period. It's just really just holding your players and putting trust in them during this Origin period, as teams will fall. Moving down, Jojo Feed had an awesome game. Nanai back. Definitely not a pickup. Nanai due to his playing Origin. Will probably play Origin and or go into camp. So yeah, Kieran Foran was good with 54 from 58 minutes. Had a try. A lot of kick meters as well. Good stats. Definitely not a pickup, as he can be very inconsistent. But if he can put up another 50, I don't know what his injury concerns are. But if he can, he could be looking like a pickup. I don't know the injuries of the Titans. I didn't really watch the game. I haven't kept updated after these Sunday games. But yeah, we see Jermaine Joel 48. He's definitely a hold still with 70 minutes. Just a bit disappointing. Not many. You can see him go for more tackles and an offload in there, and a couple more and get some tackle busts there, as we see none, as we don't see any. Reece Robson, 44. I still think he's a pickup at 715k. Still, that's underpriced. I think he's an 800k guy. I think Harry Grant and Reece Robson have been hard done by this year. Reece Robson actually has done pretty well this year so far, and we know he's got glimpses, if we have a look here, of averaging 52 of 60s and 70 games. As we know, he's an absolute defensive beast and loves also jumping out a dummy half for a try. As we see, 166 meters gained. Like, that's ridiculous for a dummy half there. Yeah, we see those 73s there. So we know he's a running dummy half as well, and can get over for some attacking stats. So look out for him, eh? Have the Origin period if you do want to spend that 715k and go for 2 guys like Grant and Robson. Holmes back to earth. He's not playing good footy. His kicking's gone off. A lot of criticism has gone of Val Holmes. So let's see what he can do in Origin. Definitely not a pickup. He's got a lot of cash to lose. See a guy like Lukey back, I reckon still give him another league before what I still think he could be a pickup or maybe give him another week. Um just could free up some cash somewhere else for maybe a guy like Kai Pierce-Paul. So yeah. We see Tamalolo, it's get me on the edge of seat 49 minutes back. His minutes upgrading, see what happens with him. But he's had limited minutes and it's at the price 435k when he maybe start to score those 50s. Chris Randall, um, it's tricky with him. He could score a 30 or 60 one week, so definitely just that inconsistency of him just definitely makes him just a wait and see, and just hopefully he can find some consistent fantasy form. But moving down, Mo Fodawaker, 32 points, just been really disappointing this year, and I think when does it time for him to be pick up? I do think will get named that Origin team, maybe on the bench or camp. It'll just be interesting what happens. Scotty Drinkwater, really disappointing game. Struggled to find involvement early in the game. Couple of errors there. 4 missed tackles. Just disappointing. Definitely a hold for him. Definitely maybe a pickup with 670k still, as he might not play Origin, but it depends if they put him into camp, which for some reason, if if we see Edwards or Tedesco go down, but I definitely think he's a pickup in my opinion. Kinney, we see. I don't know how long that role is there for. If they put Brimson back to wing fullback, but the time he's had, he hasn't done too well. Keon Kinney at the fullback role and just hadn't had much involvement. Move down, Fini Fuyaki loses that position, so he definitely makes him 100% sell. So there's the round review. Solid round, a lot of injuries, a lot of big guns. So yeah, I'll just show you my personal fantasy team. We'll look more in depth next podcast on ours, but mine, it's an absolute shambles right now. I still got Salmon and Hughes in my starting roles. I got rid of Terrell May. We have a look at my trades. I brought in Nico Hines this week. Um, oh, well, I brought in Nico Hines this week, and it was an absolute kick in the bottom. Really, just Sam Hughes. Like I can't have him in a starting role. It's somewhere I just need to find room to downgrade with like freed up cash from Bateman and Egan, as well as maybe free up some cash with Kai Pierce-Paul there. But yeah, definitely room for improvement. Get a strong mid back and strengthen up with my centers with Ruben Garrick maybe still looking like a pickup. But we also see Ethan Strange, who's definitely got money to make during that as buy period and state of origin period. So look out for those guys. KO Weeks back. We see all the Raiders boys back, and I've just got a real struggle in depth in my emergencies. So we'll just see. I've got to make some crucial trades. Teams has been in shambles all year with injuries, so just like everyone else's. So trades are going to make or break. But Will's team's going really well. He's higher ranked than me. Like I dropped 2,000 ranks this week, or 7,000, dropped back to 9,000. I think Fanchel was up there towards 5,000, 4,000. So there's still room, like it's still very bunched ranks. Like one good round could move you up 4,000 ranks, in my opinion. Like just make the right decisions with your trades, and yeah. Um, Thank you guys for watching. Tune in tomorrow for Fantrel, for Will to join us back for the podcast, and also thank you so much to uh the PNG Fantasy Instagram page. They're awesome blokes. Watch their podcast and keep updated with Instagram. They're the next big thing in my opinion. Like the graphics they put up and what they're showing on their Instagram and their content's amazing. Like really keep updated with them and give them a follow on Instagram and have a look at their podcasts. So yeah, stay cool guys and tune in tomorrow for the uh buy holds and sell podcast and see what happens when you do with these injured men. So catch you guys later.